What's up, y'all? Welcome to Carolina Takedown Talk, episode number 23. We are a North Carolina wrestling podcast that's presented to you by Carolina's Mat News. Mr. Frank Smithwick doing big things in our wrestling community. Make sure you check out all of his social media pages.
We're also brought to you by Recruiting Accelerator. If you want to wrestle in college, whether it's D1, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA, any of it, guys, girls, get a hold of Tanner Sewell. He is the guy who will get you to the best college for you academically, for your athletic career, everything. He's the best one for it. Putting a lot of kids from North Carolina into college programs already. And, if you want to wrestle in college, best one to put you there. So, with that being said...
Speaking of going to college.
Yes.
Jeremiah Price, the top uncommitted recruit in North Carolina right now, is no longer that. He is committed.
Yep.
He is going to North Carolina State University to join Pat Pop and Coach Hall and all the studs that they have there. Wrestled the Wolfpack Open right before he committed. So, definitely the coaches got him there and got a good look at him. And
I'm super excited to see him stay in the state.
Yes, me too.
I think he could be one of the first of the big names that we have coming up, and one of the bigger names. Especially after losing Sealy, to Wyoming Sim, after
Jax Forrest
losing Jax Forrest
Bishop
McCourt, and all their fun drama that they're going through.
Poor guys.
I think this could be the new wave of best kids staying in state. But also, it's really cool to see the bigger programs, NC State, UNC, Campbell.
Yeah.
Campbell just signing Devin Bell. They're keeping North Carolina guys, and it's not just App State anymore. It's not just App State. It's not just Mark Bentley, bringing guys in, which really fast. I got to give a massive shout out to Caleb Smith.
Yeah.
That kid, I am telling you right now, I will call it right here. He will crack the top 25. In no time. He will be a national qualifier.
A couple of ranked wins today at the Keystone Classic.
Yes.
So
I think Caleb Smith could make a podium run this year at NCAAs. I know 125
that's a tall task.
Is loaded, but that kid
looked
solid.
He looked good against Courtney.
Looked really good against Brandon Courtney. Pushed the pace. It's just small little things he's got to adjust and overcome to a little bit, maturing into a college, into that level of competition. Yeah. Because it's one thing to mature into a college competition. Just plain and simple, even cracking the lineup is a tall task at a lot of these universities, especially like App, where you got Cody Russell, Sean Carter, both those guys that they were both, looking like
qualifiers.
Both qualifiers all around that 125, 133 weight.
You got Ethan Oakley, Kobe Early, two North Carolina legends.
Exactly. Right? So cracking that lineups, is one tall task, but then changing it and cracking into that, I just pushed a returning national finalist to the edge and.
Yeah,
he's good, man. Got a stall call there.
He's good. Only one state title in North Carolina, so it shows guys it doesn't matter if you're one-timer, three-timer, or whatever.
Anyways, back to Jeremiah Price.
Yeah, I would just
massive congratulations to you,
Jeremiah. Man. Great kid, great family. I'm really excited what we can do. I assume he's going to be 149, just the way his body seems to.
And you know what's great? We still get to see him this season and next season.
I know. He's young.
It's just he's young. I'm excited to see what he does. Finishing out here in North Carolina in high school.
Yeah, and so he's off the board.
Yep.
I know who I think is the top uncommitted recruit of North Carolina now. Who is the guy that is the top guy that is not committed somewhere? Y'all are going to have to wait to find out my thoughts on that one.
There we go. Uh-oh, suspense.
Yeah, we're going to leave y'all on that. You're going to have to wait a little bit.
So, 3A, 4A.
Let's do it. Title Contenders.
Let's do it.
Yes.
1A, 2A. Christian Beach tried calling us out. He said, what, no 3A, 4A?
Yeah, he was waiting for it. We couldn't do it in one episode.
Do you see, I know you can't see this, but 3A, 4A is so stacked.
So many kids.
That if we tried to do 1A and 2A together with 3A, 4A, we'd be sitting here for 4 hours. And, I know we've got some pretty cool fans already, but I don't think I'm going to sit there and watch 4 hours.
4 hours is a long time.
Man, I mean, it's just, and I really think we could even split it into
3A,
and then a 4A.
It's
as
just,
loaded
it's just
as
got
it
a
is.
lot of kids. So let's jump into it. Let's not delay any longer. 3A 106, the top contender is freshman state finalist last year, Josh Miller. He went back down to 106 for Super 32, so I'm assuming he's going to be back in there from C4. He was at Northwood. I think they had a school split situation. I'm not 100% sure on that. Just a new school that was bred out of Northwood or whatever.
Yeah.
So, but he's sophomore, returning state finalist. He's at the top. But then we got some kids that are some names that
Yep.
they're going to be in there. Reagan Riddick. First flight, look out for her. She's going to be at 106 for the state tournament. She's going to come. She's going to be hand fighting you to death. Rather throw you than know you type of kid. So she's going to be in there.
Super excited
and
to see
contend
that.
for this. And then there's a freshman out of Pisgah named Kane Bryson that everyone should be looking out for. He's coming.
Yeah.
I think those three are kind of the top three. Now, 106 is kind of those weights we talked about on the last episode, that there's going to be freshmen emerging, maybe some sophomore, even junior kids that were at the top of the pecking order last year but didn't quite make it, that are going to emerge as title
And sometimes
contenders.
those 113s are going to come down.
Yep.
And like we said for 1A, 2A, if you haven't checked that one out yet, go check it out. But these are just we don't know exactly where everyone's going weight-wise. We did have a lot of people from the 1A, 2A episode go,
say,
hey, this guy's going 106, this kid's going 120. Awesome. Please do that for us if you can. If you want us to know that, if you're still deciding, keep it to yourself. Whatever you want to do. Tell us what you want us to know.
A little bit of guesswork on our part,
right?
As far as who's going what way. We got a little bit of information.
A lot of this can change.
Yeah, a little bit of information with a couple of duels going on, but obviously kids can be wrestling up a couple weights right now and come down for the postseason.
Exactly.
So. But those are their top three. I really think Miller's kind of the front runner there. I think Riddick's got an outside shot to challenge Miller. I think she's going to make history here in place this year.
Yes.
I'm pretty confident in that.
Definitely wins another girls' title.
Yes, 100%.
I don't think anyone touches
dominates her way to a girls'
nationally
title.
ranked.
And then, like I said, that Kane Bryson kid out of Pisgah.
I'm excited to see him. He's a
Pisgah's
local kid for
lineup's
us.
going to be good. Pisgah's lineup's going to be really good. I don't sleep on them. There's a reason they were high in the coaches' rank.
No doubt. But let's move up to 113. You have to lead it off.
Yes.
And,
Charleston Baglio.
Yes, there we
Charleston
go.
Baglio, freshman state champ.
Yep.
Now, he has been wrestling kind of 120. He wrestled 120 through 32. The first little bit of his season so far, wrestling 120. I think for the postseason, we're going to see him come down, though. I think he'll shift down. Him and his brother will come down. That is no inside information. It's just a gut feeling that I have that he'll slide down. But freshman state champ, obviously, that makes him the front runner. He's the favorite right now.
So you're thinking that Charleston goes 6.
I think Charleston comes down to 13 from 120, and I think Jackson's going to come down from 126 to 120.
Gotcha. So we're at where you think they're going to end up. So you think Charleston's coming down.
I think he's going to end up at 13 for the state tournament.
I think there's a freshman that's got his number.
I don't know about his number, but he's definitely a challenger. This kid's on fire right now.
Carter Floyd.
Yes.
Freshman, Fred T. Ford. Kid is an absolute monster. And I think he could beat Baglio by the end of the season.
He's tough, man. They're both
I think that's
dark horse,
going to be our state finals in 3A 113. And I'm going to have to go Floyd on that one right now. If we went there, I know I'm crazy. Charleston, he has given me no reason to doubt him at all.
Zero reason.
He has given me no reason to pick Floyd over him. But I just think that Floyd's ceiling is so high.
Yeah.
And like you said, being in that dark horse room.
Yeah, they're both there training together.
Room,
so
I mean, and I say being in that Ford room, like being in the Central Cabarrus room, isn't just as awesome right now, especially
right at his weight. Yeah,
right, especially right at his weight with the Baglios.
Marcus Jackson.
With Marcus Jackson right there.
Yeah, a kid named Sam Workman that's pretty
yes
decent as well.
But with Ford, you've got a few other solid kids that are right there with Floyd.
Yeah.
Kind of paving that way for him.
Mejia.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about them here. I mean,
so
right here into 120.
But what you're saying is kind of what I was thinking going into this is that tier-wise, I kind of think Baglio and Floyd are kind of a cut above everybody else right now. Right out the gate, Floyd is a freshman.
Right.
Baglio is a sophomore. I think Floyd can challenge Baglio, but I'm not.
I think I won't
pick that.
Right now, it's going to be... Right now, I think it'd probably go towards Baglio.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the season, towards state finals time, I think Floyd could pull it off.
Yeah.
That's down the road a little bit. Man, I always sound like a Central Bears hater.
You are.
And I really sound like one.
All time.
And I like Central Bears. Like, I don't have anything against any of these kids.
Charleston, I got you. And then Floyd, I got you too, because I have had Floyd. He's number 2 on the freshman big board right now. So there's a reason that we know about him, and it's because I've been following him since probably about a year ago, middle school wise. And so he's number 2 on the freshman big board. Those are all updated guys since at the beginning of the season. We didn't really do like a big post about it. We put something in our story. I just kind of let it ride there. So if, a lot of people already knew. They kind of been checking. So Carter Floyd number 2 on there. So go check those out. But I think they're kind of a tier above. And then stepping up to 120. This is, again, another little bit of a projection.
Yes.
Braden Mejia from Ford. Right, another Ford kid, another freshman state champ.
This is 120 is stacked.
120 is stacked,
or I think it will shape up to be stacked. How we think it's going to
how it's going to play out. So right now,
it's going to fall. Yeah,
Mejia is at 126.
Yep,
and so is the next guy, which is Jackson Baglio, state champ last year's a sophomore, third as a freshman. Both of those guys are 26, but I think they're going to slide down to 120 for the postseason. And then you also have Charlie Sly from Stuart Kramer, Jacob Krasiski from First Flight, who got 4th last year at 2A, and then Damon Landreth from West Henderson, who
right down the road.
He didn't place last year, but he lost to Baglio in the quarters.
Yeah,
he pushed Laz Vasquez a couple times.
I do think that Landreth was one of those kids that didn't place just because of his COVID state tournament.
Yep,
I agree. I think he loses in that quarterfinals match to Baglio, and I think he wrestles back, probably ends up taking...
Yeah, and he beat Sly at the regional tournament last year. We were Matt's side for that one, so he's right there with Sly and those guys. I think Mejia and Baglio are kind of like just a slight cut above those guys. That's your state final. I could see Sly or Krasiski.
I could see Sly sliding in there.
Yeah,
I could see him
and
popping
Landreth.
in.
I could see them trying to pick off. I don't think they pick off Baglio. I don't think they pick him off. But I could see one of them picking Mejia off.
I don't know if they pick off Mejia.
I don't know.
I didn't know it was such a Ford homer. Okay, this is weird right now.
From the video I saw him in his last match, he looks like a monster right now.
Yeah.
So, that's probably, to me, that matchup is the matchup I want to see
the most
at 3A right now, at least right now. But 120 is going to be fun. Is
there a possibility that happens in the regular season?
I don't know. I have to go back and check
any tournaments together. If they might see each other. Yeah,
maybe.
Who knows? But popping up to 126.
They might see each other in club room though.
Yeah, probably. But at 120,
it's fun. 120
it's a lot of fun, and I do think that if it shakes out the way that we think it will, I do think we have Mejia. And I do think we have Baglio in the state.
Yeah, state champ for state champ. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I love. Yes. State champ for state champ.
State champ there. And, I do think that Sly has a pretty good shot at knocking one of them off. But Landreth had a pretty impressive win over Isaiah Morrison from Inca, a state qualifier from last season. So he came out looking pretty good. I don't remember I know he majored him. I don't remember if it was a tech or if he pinned him or not. But it was impressive. Yeah, it was a lot too little.
And then Krasiski from First Flight, don't count him out. He
right.
4th place last year, like I said, at 2A.
I just don't know a lot of the First Flight guys. They're so far. I know that so you do.
I know my First Flight kids.
And I feel like I'm always sleeping on First Flight, but it's more of
we're way out west. They're way out east.
Yeah, I'm way out here, and I don't have.
For him, the thing's gonna be is if he can just put it together, especially from the bottom position against Baglio and Mejia, who are really good top wrestlers. That's why I think it's gonna be the difference there.
But popping up to 126, we have the number 1 pound for pound, the big board leader, the guy of North Carolina right now,
right?
Virginia, signee. He's
Yeah,
signee
signed.
now. Yeah, it's not just commit anymore. Signee from senior, 3-time state champ, going for 4 this year.
Yeah, trying to make history.
Kyle Monteperto. No one touches him.
No,
I'm sorry,
bonus.
Hunter. Hunter Clark from Ford.
Was a freshman state
I
finalist.
can't be a Ford homer on this one. No one in the state touches Monteperto. It doesn't matter if he goes 120, 132, 138. I don't think anyone in the whole state touches him.
He's a cut above right now.
Yeah,
right?
he is the guy of North
There's
Carolina.
a reason why he's ranked very highly nationally, right? So
he is the guy. I'm excited to see his season this year. Really excited to see how dominant he's going to be.
Yeah, I know.
And I think that's
he's so fun
to
watch on his feet. The way he wrestles on his feet is just so much fun to watch.
And that's really exciting to have in North Carolina is another one of those guys. It's just like, man, I'm excited to see just how dominant you're going to be. But Hunter Clark, sophomore, I think he goes 2-2-1-1.
Yeah, he's really tough, man.
I hate
even though Hunter Clark, I'm about to tell Rap Boy, he forgot already. Even though you had him getting pinned in the Ford Huff duel last year, you said, "Oh, big moment, he got stuck." Yeah, no, bro.
Look, man.
No.
Look.
I've
my boys too.
I've converted him. All
right,
don't worry.
Huff's my boys too.
No, and he's really solid, and he looks.
Yeah.
I saw the match that we watched, the Inca duel or whatever. He looked pretty big too. He's at 32 right now, but I think he's gonna come down after Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't know if he stays 32. He's a contender there as well.
Right.
But I think we might see him slide down.
Right.
I mean, he go down. Lineup wise. But
speaking of 132,
yep,
I'm taking it. I'm stealing it from you
Tell
really
it.
fast. My boy Lil Mar, Marcus Jackson, Centrica Barris. All right, state champ 132. Book it. No one's gonna touch him. I know there's Portello from North Henderson, state qualifier 3rd. I don't know if I slept on Marcus all year last year.
he did.
But I had a pick and I had to stick with it, right? And he had an awesome rivalry trip.
That was fun, right?
Marcus was the biggest
travesty.
Biggest casualty of no wrestlebacks.
100%.
It was terrible. Sure. He would have come back taking 3rd. I have no doubt about it. It stunk. It was terrible to have to watch, right? Like that was one for me that I was in person for that, watching that and just kind of going like, this is just not okay. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we had talked about it so much before, and we'd gotten hyped up about all this stuff, but to see it in person and to know that you got a kid with that runner-up,
state
champ, state qualifier,
and then probably state champ this year as well, right?
And state champ.
So it's going to go 2-1, state qualifier 1, right?
Yeah,
so.
And state qualifier, not placer because of no wrestlebacks. And I know that's a whole nother
it's a whole
thing that's
deal,
past, hopefully.
I think he's a heavy favorite, 132.
Yeah.
He's at 138 now.
Yeah.
I think he comes down. I think 32 is his weight. I know he was originally registered for 26 at Super 32 and then decided 132 fits his body a little better. So he's going to go 132. I was kind of hoping when I was seeing like weights shaking out, we would get Aldo Hernandez, Marcus Jackson state final.
But that's a pretty big news right there that we're going to slide in.
Aldo Hernandez is not in our title contenders for 3A.
Not anymore.
Because he's at URI Charter, so he's at 1A.
He is transferred down to 1A, to
his family
URI
moved
Charter.
to the Asheboro area, so he's ended up at URI Charter. So that puts Jaden Noel, Aldo Hernandez, Ethan Shell, all right around the same weight. So
1A's got...
That little weight right there is going to be fun. Yeah. So the top
URI Charter kind of added another bullet to the gun there.
Yeah, another piece to finish maybe 3rd.
Oh,
I'm just kidding, guys. Just kidding. Maybe 2nd. They're still not going to touch Avery.
Yeah, I mean,
in a tournament format, duals, it's vulnerable.
Yeah, duels that made it really interesting.
Yeah, duel that made it a
lot more interesting. Just that one more person, but we can't leave out Henry Portella here. He's
junior,
North Henderson, right down the road from us, state qualifier 3rd.
He's probably the top challenger to Jackson right now, right?
Yeah.
Based on state finish. I think there's going to be some people that kind of emerge out of this weight that we're going to be excited about. Like I said, I'm a little disappointed we don't get the Hernandez-Jackson state finals. I think that would have been electric. But
That would be a lot of fun.
Portillo is sneaky fun to watch. Like he can do some crazy stuff too. Really solid at times, and really crazy at times. Pretty cool.
Right.
And then who knows? Maybe this next guy stepped up to 138. Brock Carey, junior at Ford. He run up as a freshman, third last year.
Right.
He's at 38 now. He may come down to 32 after Christmas. We'll see. I think he stays 38. He looks pretty big. He looks pretty big right now. He's probably the top guy right now at 138. Now, you can't leave out Antonio Caldwell from Statesville, who was a runner-up last year.
Right.
At this weight, or at 32, one of the two weights, and but I think those two are kind of your top two. But then one of my favorite guys to watch that kind of slides under the radar is Stephen Cotton from Southern Guilford. He placed third as a sophomore, fourth last year as a junior. He's fun. He's got a little electric style.
Yeah.
Gets into legs really well. So that's going to be a fun little top tier 3 guys that kind of run that 138. It'll be interesting to see, like I said, if Brock kind of drops weight and comes down. But
if he comes down to 38. Yeah. But to 145, I think this is a fun little one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Jacob Cox, senior, South Rowan.
Yeah.
Third.
First.
State champ.
First.
State champ.
And last year, the state champ was over Zach Lewis, another state champ in the quarters, and then over Mahaffey in the finals.
A very impressive run.
Yes, and then
to the state title.
His Super 32 run was really good. His deep run at Super 32.
Right.
Man, he is very, very good.
Yes. But right behind him, somebody I think he can't sleep on.
No.
And neither can we.
This was
Logan
almost
Fight.
Yeah, Logan Fight. This was almost his state finals opponent last year. Him and Mahaffey from Pisgah had this back and forth battle, and there were several times where I was like, "Man, Fight's gonna win this. Fight's gonna win this." And he's just a junior, really, growing into the weight. I think a little bit more at 145. I also think, man, he's in a great training situation with Monteperto and Brady Ross and Aiden Curry. Right there with C2X and Dark Horse and all that stuff right there in his area. Good pedigree as well as far as Christian Beach is her brother. So, getting that elite level coaching at home as well, right? So getting that fed to you.
But there's one more at 145 that I think we're in another situation here where it's tiers.
Yep.
And I do think we've got Jacob Cox, and I would put Fight in there.
Yep. Fight's going to be challenging Cox.
I think that's going to be a tight match. I think that's going to be closer than a lot of people think. But somebody that might slide in and shock some people is going to be Xander Hill, a sophomore out of Pisgah.
Yeah.
State qualifier last year and had some really big, impressive wins last year as a freshman.
He was...
Came out of nowhere, like really.
Yeah,
someone was one of those freshmen that like popped up, which
wasn't 100% on my radar going into the year. And then he beat the Inca kid. What was it? What was the Inca kid's name? I'm just blanking on that right now.
You're just gonna make me.
Yeah,
you're gonna make me.
I'm gonna make you relive that. I'm
Eli Foster.
Eli Foster. Sorry, Eli. I blanked on your name, but I beat him. That kind of put him on my radar, and he impressed all year long. Didn't have the state tournament he wanted. Only didn't place, just get qualifier. But man, I really impressed, especially for a freshman at 45. I think he's gonna jump a little level here and be in that top placing mix. I don't think he challenges Fight or Cox quite yet.
I don't think so,
but he's one of the guys we got to keep an eye on in our state because I think he can kind of emerge as like one of those top kids.
He can be a guy. He can be a stud in the future. I don't know if it's his time yet.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of, everyone we're getting a little bit spoiled right now because we've got guys like Aiden Curry, we've got guys like Brock Carey, Marcus Jackson, Kyle Monteperto, Braden Mejia. Like, everyone's coming out as freshmen and like finding so much success. And it's not always like that.
No, yeah. I mean, I think about...
It's not always there.
I think about like the Donald Cates guys, right? Donald Cates just won two state titles, right? He won his senior year, and he was
Caleb Smith.
Yeah, Caleb Smith, one state title, right? Like some of those guys that find the success later on kind of getting that little higher trajectory too. So it's not easy to win as a freshman, right? Like it's not easy to win as a sophomore.
And so to be right there, and especially as a sophomore, a tough weight behind a senior that's going for his third state title. It's not one of those things that you go into it and it can't happen. Because it can any given day. But I just don't think he's there yet.
Yeah, I think you see him in the semis against. So 160, man, we got a legendary career right here. Aiden Curry. Yes. And now he's been wrestling 170. I think he comes back down to 160. This is where his weight's kind of been the past couple of years. From Cata, he was a runner-up as a freshman, state champ the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Obviously, heavy favorite coming into the year to cap it off his career. Now, he does have a really good challenger, though, and Callan Staub from Cape Fear. Now, he first really came on my radar as like, whoa, this kid's really, really good when he challenged Courageous there in the semis last year. This is the guy we were talking about earlier.
Right.
And then he actually placed at a college open here just a few weeks ago. I think it was like a 6th place finish, maybe at the Pembroke Open.
Wow.
I'll have to go back and double check, and he had a decent Super 32 performance as well. So Callan's on the level. He's going to challenge Curry for sure. Now, is he going to be able to withstand Curry's hand fighting and fend off that single leg? I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're going to find out, and I think it's going to be a dogfight for sure.
Yeah. I do think there's one in 160 that a lot of people are sleeping on. And I think he's just got to – it's one of those guys that he's had coaching. He was strong courageous kid here with Norm Osteen. He's been around a lot of good guys. Finally punched his ticket to the state tournament last year. That's Tucker Marshall, senior from East Henderson High School.
Yeah.
I think he's got a shot to... I think he's shooting for the podium here. Because if we're really looking at Aiden Curry, I don't even know if Staub can touch him. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that Curry could go to 170.
Yeah.
And
Citadel commit, by the way. I don't know if we've mentioned that on the show, but Curry head to the Citadel with Ryan LeBlanc.
Yeah. Man, it's tough because Curry's one of those kids who can go 70. He goes 60 and win it. He goes 70 and win it. I think he could go up and challenge his workout partner, Brady Ross.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one to see.
That'd be a fun one to watch.
Kind of a clash of styles, too.
But I do think that it's kind of those things that we've been talking about. There's kind of levels to it. And I think that Curry, as of right now, we don't know. Anything can happen, right? And Tucker can come out and put together a great season, get a lot of good matches. I know that East Henderson program is under a new helm. Under new head coaching there, Ray Ford moving up and taking that job and trying to put together, a tough season this year and trying to build that program. And Tucker is kind of his centerpiece, right?
Yeah.
It's
little brother Gunner's pretty
Gunner's going to be solid.
Yeah.
And I think Gunner's one for people to watch.
Yeah, he's a kid that's going to qualify. We'll see how much progress he makes.
He's not here because we're talking title contenders.
Yes.
And that's it. And that's also something that I think we need to kind of throw out there is that this is just title contenders.
Yeah, this is just the top.
We're not just talking. We're not talking about guys that just might pop in and take sixth.
Even the kids that regional champ. But
we're talking about these kids that can put it together and can run for 1 and 2.
Yeah, any kid we mentioned, we really believe they have some percentage of a chance, whether it's 1% or 100% chance of winning a state title.
Right. So with that being said, Gunnar Marshall, he's got a bright future.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be a kid that we talk about
in the future.
Yes, I think he's going to be a kid we talk about. I think he could, I think he could pull off a few big wins this year and really do well.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's Tucker's, it's his last year, but at the same time, it's these other two's senior year. It's going to come down to who can put it all together. And I think it's who's racing to try and beat Curry, really. And I think Curry's on his own level.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Love Tucker to death. And I'm not saying he can't do it. Not saying he can't do it. And even if we see Grayson pop up into this weight, Grayson Harris 152, if he stays up at 160, I think that makes it a lot of fun.
I think Grayson will have a hard time getting to Curry's legs.
Right.
Matchup.
I think anybody's going to have a tough time getting to Curry's legs.
Yeah,
and that's one of those things, like it doesn't matter who we talk about against Curry right now. It's kind of like Monteperto.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, it's like anyone in the whole state's going to struggle.
Have a tough time right there.
They can be beat, but it's got to be perfect. He's got to put it together, and he's got to figure it out. He's got to get to legs. And Curry's just so tough on his feet, but he's so tough on top too. It's just...
Yeah, I like it.
See how it shakes out. I like Curry just running through it, man. And it's one of those tough ones.
He's important. Cata doesn't have a whole lot of room for error here.
No, they don't.
They have their three studs really: Curry, Ross, Monteperto. Right? They lost Hunter, so that's a lot of points. For this year, but they still have a bunch of kids that are really good. I don't know. Title contending good, but they're going to have a couple more places. Oh, and fight.
They've got a few champs, though. I was about to say, don't leave fight out of that because you got... Man, you got Monteperto.
Fight.
You got Fight.
Curry, Ross.
But
Ford is really good right now.
Ford's really good, and one of the guys that's leading it is here at 170.
Yeah.
Zane Burchett.
Burkett, actually.
Burkett.
Yeah.
Sweet. There we go.
His mom
told me. There we go. Awesome.
She found me at the state tournament last year and was like, hey, it's Burkett.
There we go. Like we said, let us know. We've had a lot of people reaching out from the 1A, 2A.
And we will try. We might still get it wrong, but we're going to try our best to make sure. So Zane Burkett.
Yes, there we go.
Man, the whole Ford lineup, this is my favorite kid to watch in the Ford lineup because just the way he moves on his feet, this duck under he hit at the state tournament last year was so nasty. And now I said that the 120 bracket was probably my favorite, most anticipated final. This one is my second. Right underneath that is Burkett.
If it works out the perfect way.
If it works out the way I'm hoping it does, and Aiden McCafferty from Union Pines, man. Union Pines got a good little program too. That's what makes 3A so entertaining this year. Is we got Union Pines, First Flight, Ford, Cata, the whole Central Cabarrus.
The big picture there.
Picture of teams that have a shot that can make something happen, place high. And McCaffrey's been just buzzsawing people, right? Finished runner-up last year as a junior.
Right.
I think that's going to be a fun match. I think both guys like to score, so we're going to see some points, which is always adds another layer of entertainment value, right? I mean, we can appreciate our 1-0, 2-1 matches too,
for sure.
But seeing a 6-7 point match on the board, that's fun. But speaking of Cata being in there, 182, Brady Ross, defending state champ, placed every year at the state tournament. He's got an awesome style. I think he takes a lightweight approach to upper weights. Really, really hard to score on. Great in scrambles. Low single is really good as well. He's the favorite heading into 182. It'll be interesting to see maybe if McCafferty goes 182 in that matchup. I think is an interesting matchup. I think McCafferty's going to end up at 170 though. And then you have, I'm not sure if Milos Gargle from First Flight is going to be at 82. He's been wrestling 95. I know he can weight-wise come down. I don't know if he will. I haven't asked Coach Kepler on purpose because I don't want him to have to divulge his lineup to me just because I'm on this and talking or whatever. So.
And we never take that personally.
Yeah,
like we've said.
No.
If you want to let us know,
yes,
cool.
No.
If you don't, we 100% get it.
And I know
we'll find out whenever you want us to find out.
And I know Russell. If I ask Russell Kepler, head coach First Flight, if you guys don't know Russell, great guy, soul of the earth type of people right there. I know if I ask him, he'll tell me. But I don't want to put him in that position if he doesn't want to divulge his lineup to the world. So.
Right.
But I'm not sure if Milos will be here or at 95. But if he is here, there'll be an interesting style clash. Milos really good sound positionally, fun to watch as well. But I think him and Ross will be a good matchup. You got Joey Plyler of North Lincoln. Now He did take a loss this weekend to Seth Blackledge, but that's not, a loss to be hard on. I just don't know if...
Yeah, that's not losing to a nobody there.
But I'm just not sure if he's on that Ross Gargoyle tier. And then you got Luke Lambeth of Ashboro. He's definitely in this mix.
Yeah.
I don't think Ross is so far ahead that these guys can't catch him, but he's definitely a step ahead. I think his style makes...
I think they're all on the same level. I think, like you said, he's just a few steps ahead. I think,
too, for Ross in particular, his style, he has a lot of ways to score. The more ways you have to score, the more opportunities you're going to have to win matches. And he's not afraid to mix it up either. So he's going to give himself opportunities to win the match. And I'm sure he's been jumping levels training with the people he is. So, and then at 195, if we see Milos stay up, I think he's the favorite there. He was a runner-up last year to land in 4.
Nothing to,
nothing and then Milos, and I talked about them last year in the podcast, he's just jump levels. His freshman year didn't qualify, 6th place as a sophomore at 160, and then 182 last year, runner-up. Honestly, and the funny thing about, I think I said this on the podcast last year, I'm not remembering, but Milos is actually the last person I've wrestled. Last time I was on the wrestling mat, I drilled with him when he was a 45-pound freshman, and I haven't been on the mat since due to COVID, and I'm not coaching and focusing on the podcast.
Basically, you retired.
I retired. I'm old man nowadays.
Basically, you retired Ryan Mitchell.
Yeah,
Milos there. So.
Beat me up, so I was out. But so now to see him all the way up at 95. Now he did take a loss to Sam Greena from Cary, who we're going to talk about at the 4A section. But I think he's definitely a favorite here at 195 if he stays there. And then 220 is a kid from Ford that I don't think a whole lot of people are going to talk about, but I think he's kind of the guy at 220.
It's wide open.
Yeah, this is the most wide open weight I think of any weight
of the whole state tournament.
Yeah, of any classification.
Any classification, any weight, it's wide open. Dylan Smith, Ford, state qualifier last year. I think he puts it together and wins it. I don't see anybody touching him. Yeah, that's just kind of.
I think, man, I know that they're really.
And
high
it's
on
one of those
him,
things. It's I haven't seen enough where it's Dylan Smith next topic.
Yeah.
Kind of like it is with Monteperto and, kind of like it was with 4 last year where it's he's going to,
I think
kind of way it is go ahead.
I think, too, that 220 is a weight where you can see some people emerge in that, junior, senior year that, some tough kids maybe that have wrestled 82, 95, they come up to 220
and just kind of developed into
a really good 220.
Right.
But I agree with you, Smith right now is the favorite. We'll see what happens.
Right. Now, 285.
Talk about it, Rhett. Talk about it.
The big boys, 3A. I think this should be one of the most anticipated matchups of the entire year. This state finals match, I don't see anyone else 285 and 3A touching either of these two. Jameer Ferrier. I could be butchering that again.
Yes, yeah, we have.
Okay. I talked to him at Super 32. Awesome kid. Talked to him saying there with Coach Hardy.
Yep.
From Northern Guilford.
That's his club coach.
Right, club coach, which amazing coach to have as a heavyweight in high school. Right?
Better, right?
Is there a better one in the state of North Carolina to have as a big guy coach?
No.
I don't think there is from, other than Justin Hardy. Took a tough loss last year to Cody Hardy, a senior from Parkwood. And man, it was a scrap that whole match, and it came down to the last 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Jameer was banged up before for Super 32. I believe it was a football injury. Didn't wrestle there, but is a Naval Academy commit.
Yeah, we'll see. Is
committed to the Navy. We'll be up there with Mike Evans and Coach Colat. Up there joining Luke Arts from Inca. So I'm really excited to see what he does this year. I'm really excited to see what both of them do. Cody Hardy's a really big football player. I know he's got, a lot of attention from what I understand. Yeah. But with the leaps that Jameer is making, I feel like, and with Justin Hardy as his coach, knowing that it's tough for me to go anywhere other than Jameer. And I think that's a massive testament.
And they're 1-1 against each other.
Hardy.
I don't think they've matched up other than the regional finals and state finals. So just
Yeah.
1-1. Hopefully they see each other more this year
Right.
because we'll actually have tournaments and a real season.
Which,
so.
how awesome was it to see pictures, videos, a real tournament, like just back to normal.
I couldn't put my
almost.
phone down. I was checking track wrestling so much.
Oh, I know. It was amazing.
And we're going to come out with a different video about...
Yeah, we're going to recap that.
Yeah, recap the weekend stuff. We just want to focus title contenders on this episode. We'll get there on the recap. Don't worry.
It's kind of one of those things we talked about. It is that right now, so we did 1A, 2A title contender. We had to do 3A, 4A title contender.
Yeah, and then
the rest of the season, we can kind of get into more of a, hey, here's the big things that happened this week, and we can kind of do some weekly breakdowns, some weekly recaps, stuff like that. Unless something big comes up or there's a big tournament coming up that we want to cover, anything like that. We wanted to go ahead and get 3A, 4A title contenders out of the way.
Yeah, we want to set this one down first.
Right, set it down. So, wrapping it up in 3A, Jameer and Cody Hardy. Super excited to see them. They're kind of your two old school heavyweights. They're just gonna sit there and they're gonna bang, right? They're gonna go and it's gonna be a 3-1 match. Yeah. It could be a 3-2 match, a 4-3 match. It's gonna be a close one. I really think that's gonna come down to who can get to their attacks.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna be Jameer. I think he avenges that loss and wins a state title this year. That's going to be my pick that I think I'm going to ride with for the whole season, unless Cody Hardy proves me wrong, which he kind of already did last year in the state finals. Yeah. So I'm really excited to see that one.
I'm going to go on a limb.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say either Cody Hardy or Jameer. One of them wins the state title. I'm going way far out. Way out on the limb. And picking one of them to win.
Gosh, yeah. It's just one of those things that they are on a whole other level from anyone else in 3A heavy or 3A 285 right now. I think Daniel Gath from Inca. I know him personally just from working out with him and helping him out. While I was coaching Inca, I think he's a kid that has a lot of potential as a big guy and can really make jumps this year. And I expect him to make jumps this year. And I expect to see him at the state tournament this year, hopefully up on the podium. But man, if there's somebody out there in 285 that can touch Jameer and Cody, I don't know their name yet.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think we've seen them yet.
They're a tier on themselves right now,
right?
For sure,
I agree. So. That's it for 3A.
Let's head up to 4A, which is just as fun, man.
Maybe even more stacked.
I don't know, man. It's close. I think
some of the individual matchups in 3A.
I think, there's more.
4A is more wide open.
Yeah, 3A has got some more fire, individual matchups. Man, I'm really anticipating those. 4A is like, man, 5 kids could go in this weight. You wrestle it 5 times. We're gonna have 5 different winners. Yeah. So it's. Starting at 106, Riley Logan, state qualifier from Glenn. Brad Yoakum, state qualifier from Ragsdale, both just sophomores. And then you have a freshman from Huff. Jackson Rowling, he already ran through his first tournament of the year. I'm telling you, this kid is good. And he's only going to get better being in that Huff room with Trip Rogers. So, to me, I know he hasn't ever been in the state tournament before, but I've already kind of started eyeing him as the title favorite. I'm like, that's
Jackson Rowland, 106 4A state champ. Book it.
Oh, you're booking it?
Book it.
I'm not booking it there yet.
Booking it. I think he's that good.
I'm not pulling the trigger on that pick yet, but I mean, he's the one my eyes are on the majority of the time for that weight. That's the guy I'm paying attention to the most.
I think he's the guy at 106. I think he's going to have a historic career for Huff, starting this year as a freshman state champ.
Man, I think
that's what I think. I mean,
historic careers are kind of becoming the norm.
Yeah, it almost is
at Huff in particular.
Right, it is. I really I think that he beats Yoakum. I think he beats Logan. I think he beats them both
soundly.
I really think the only guy around it. There's 2 that I really think. I think he beats Ramos from Cary at 113.
Yeah, you think so?
I think Cobble and Stinson are the only 2 in 106 or 113 that Rowling might struggle with. And with that, we're going to bump up to 113.
And speaking of freshmen, state champs, Cam Stinson.
I think Rolling's going to follow Stinson here.
He killed Stinson killed everybody last year. He already wrestled Baisley at the tournament this weekend, and it wasn't close. I think it ended up being like a major decision.
Yeah.
And
did you see the cowboy post that
they were giving out at the Rumble.
I loved it. They
were giving out cowboy hats. That was cool.
That is awesome.
But I think Stinson wins this going away again.
Yeah.
Right. I don't think he's just now. Is he going to bonus his way through? We'll see.
I think.
But if he doesn't, bonus is going to be very comfortable, like a 9-3 type decision. I don't think he's going to be challenged very much. Cobble's really good.
I think that's the best shot.
Yeah.
I think that's the best shot from anyone in 113 to beat him.
I think Ramos is good from Cary
I do think Ramos is good, and I don't want to disrespect him, and I don't want to disrespect Baisley, my bad. But I think Cobble's style would match up with Stinson. But I don't think he has it.
Stinson's just like very long and rangy. So, and I was noticing in his match with Baisley that Cam put up is that he was able to like snap Baisley on his face a lot and circle really well and kind of the length.
And Cable Stevenson.
Yeah, he had that length he had though. Kind of had his arm had his arm trapped, but he still was able to cut the corner and wrap his arm around with his length, and he's very quick on his feet.
I'm super excited to see Cam
great
Stinson
top game too. Yeah, me too. I can't wait, man. That was one of the things about not being at the Florida State tournament. I wanted to really watch him wrestle live and in person. I haven't gotten that opportunity yet, and that's one of the ones I want to really bad. I think a surprise state.
Cam, send us the Mallard Creek schedule, and we will try and figure out a tournament or a duel
where we
will get to, because we want to see you in person.
Yes, you're you're one of the kids I haven't seen.
He's one of the big.
And I want to very.
Yeah, he's one of the big names in the state that we haven't seen. That, like you just said, I want to see him in person.
Yes.
I want to see this.
But one kid that we have to keep an eye on is this Cooper Davis kid out of Cox Mill.
Yeah,
the sophomore last year didn't place the state tournament, but he gave Laz Vasquez a.
Which isn't
match,
especially last year. That's not a massive thing to say.
Yes,
he didn't place last year. He didn't qualify last year.
Yeah,
but we didn't have wrestlebacks.
Yes,
right. We didn't have that.
So Cooper was there at the state tournament. Gave Laz like a really really tough match.
Laz was scrappy.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Stinson Davis state final. I mean, I would obviously still pick Stinson, but I think Davis is just as much as being opposite of Stinson as any other guy on the list. Cobble, Ramos, whoever. I think he's right there with those guys.
Right.
So stepping up to 120, probably this is the most wide open weight of 4A, I would say.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's the thing. That's the theme with 4A. I think this is one of the many wide open weights in 4A. Yeah. Trevor Freeman from A.L. Brown's probably your favorite. He's a runner-up last year as a freshman, only losing to Baglio. Beat Laz along the way, but then you have state qualifier Eli Pendergrass from Northwest Guilford, who is really good. You have Noah Murray from Lake Norman, who got 4th last year at 113 at 4A. You got Joey Bruciano, who got 4th at 120 last year at 3A. And then you got some other guys that necessarily aren't placers, but that's because they're freshmen. You got Ian Flitz, who's the number 1 kid on the freshman big board. So this kid is really, really legit. Liam Hickey he's a freshman from Cardinal Gibbons. He's on here because he beat Noah Murray already this season. And then Lucas Cutto is a junior from Laney, because Laney needs another big gun here. They got one. Cutto beat Krasiski this past weekend. So, man, this weight's wide open. I really don't know who to pick. I kind of lean towards Freeman just because of how he performed at the state tournament last year. He's in that dark horse room. I lean towards that side of youth, especially in these lower weights a lot of times. So Fritz is from Topsail. Ian Fritz is a freshman, and I'm like, I think this kid's going to be big problems.
I've got my eyes on one in this bracket.
Who's that? Who are you seeing?
Noah Murray, Lake Norman.
Yeah.
He's taken some losses.
He did this last year, too.
He did this last year. I think he's going to peak. That coaching staff, Lake Norman in combat, Josh Stanley, I think they're going to have him prepared. I think he's going to peak the right way, and I think that Lake Norman is. I think they have one of the toughest schedules this year.
Yeah,
He's going to see some of the best kids in the state this year, and he's already losing, right? And so it's one of those things that we always, kind of beg and plead with coaches like, hey, get your kids the best matches, get your kids, all this, let's see where they're really at.
Yeah. Lake Norman does that.
Josh Stanley's doing that. Lake Norman is doing that, right?
And
they're putting them in the best position that they can. And so I think that by Noah Murray taking these losses, right, it stinks. It does stink to lose.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to, with the help of that coaching staff there, I think he's going to turn those into learning lessons, adjustments made that's going to end up with him winning state title.
Like he did this last year. So he took a couple losses, and in the state tournament, he had it all together.
Now, don't get me wrong. Trevor Freeman is a absolute monster, and if I had to pick someone, I haven't personally seen Fritz wrestle, and so that might be one of those that I could see him, and this whole conversation could change. But for right now, I think that it's going to be Murray and Freeman. I think Pendergrass will be a fun one in that weight, but I think it's going to be Murray and Freeman, and I think that Murray's ability to adjust as the season goes along with the strength of his schedule, I think is going to be the difference. Yeah. I think Lake Norman pushing that pace. And
speaking of what could make a difference is if we look at this 126 weight.
Yeah.
You have Matthew Rowland, state champ, Mark Samuel.
This might be the most loaded.
And Noah Luna, state runner-up. Right? So here's my thing. I almost think one of them is
Does one of them go down?
Is one of them's going to come down. I almost feel like one of them's going to come down. I'm not sure who it's going to be, but I almost feel like one of them's going to come down. Maybe even two of them. Maybe Luna will come down. Maybe Roland. I don't know. Luna is big though. I don't know how he made 120 last year.
I think
he's one of those kids that maybe probably
Roland
just
can make 120.
I don't know. They all are so solid.
They all fit the mold of 126, and they're solid 126 pounders.
The last time Roland and Samuel wrestled, Roland won. I'm pretty sure. So, it's that one's a tough one. Like that one. This could be the best state final. If it's Roland versus Samuel, that's probably the best state final of 4A, maybe. I'm kind of projecting without thinking about the rest of the weights going forward, but it definitely will be really good 26-pounder, solid. It's a good preview of college wrestling for them because I think both will be great on the next level. So
yes.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. I'm interested to see.
Either of those guys signed yet?
No, not yet. I know
I just need to
colleges are
tune in on something that we've got coming up then.
Yes, yeah. First, definitely. But I'm interested to see if they all stay it that way. If they do, it's going to be
I'm not ready to make a pick on that yet.
Yeah, me either. I need to see how their seasons play out a little bit and go forward with that. But then...
Now, the next one I'm ready to make a pick on.
Yeah, go for it
I'm going my boy Brant.
Yeah.
He will repeat again this year. So 132 4A, we've got Brant Fagerman, junior from Huff, Richard Trainer's main workout partner while they were in high school.
Yep.
And I think that's the difference, in there with Coach Trip Rogers. Man, that Huff program, I think, let's see, what were they ranked again this year? And dual team, Huff's at 4. And then tournament teams, Huff's at 4 again. And, I think that Brant's really the leader of that right now. But behind him, you got Hunter Gundry from Cardinal Gibbons, runner-up last year.
Yep,
and then Richard Williams from Grays Creek, 4-4. Fourth and fourth.
Yep, they're moving up from 3A last year.
Moving up from 3A, just like Piedmont, a few other schools. And I think there's levels here, and I think that Brant has proved that he's on a different level.
He has.
And I think that Fagerman runs away.
Favorite.
I think he runs away here. Now, just like you were saying with 126, one of them might go down.
Yep.
I think that one of them might go up. I could see Noah Luna going up to 132 and having a scrap with Brant in the
Oh yeah,
finals.
Luna's got a really.
I
tough
think
style.
Luna could come in. I don't know if he beats Brant.
No,
I don't know if he beats Brant. I think Brant's got it. I think 132's his.
Yeah.
I think he's set there, but I kind of want that to happen.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see Luna Fagerman.
I don't know.
132 for me.
126, 132. Let's just round robin it and have all those guys just.
No joke.
Just
No
wrestle each other.
joke, man. That would be so much fun.
So much fun.
I'm excited to see Brant this year. Putting together, like you said, like historic careers are just kind of the norm now.
Yeah, especially for these top, some of these top tier programs.
We just keep on saying it, and like
runner up as a freshman,
state champ. I think he'll go again. I think he'll go again. I think we're looking at 3-time state champ here.
Looking good. And then 138, we got Luke Kuntz from Cardinal Gibbons.
Fun.
He's gotten third the past 2 years. Lost to Fagerman his sophomore year, Fagerman's freshman year in the state semis, and then Fagerman would go on to lose to Samuel there. But then you also have entering back into the Lake Norman lineup. This is big for Lake Norman's team title hopes, their tournament team title hopes.
Yep.
JT Richards is back in the lineup after not being in the lineup last year. He went ahead and he already beat Kuntz this weekend. So he's kind of the front runner right now at 138. Like he asserted himself of, hey, I could be the state champ at 138, giving Lake Norman another title contender with lots of points coming
redemption
their way.
Season.
So,
I think it's what they've titled this year for them to be is their redemption tour.
I feel like tournament team wise, we've said Cardinal Gibbons, Huff, Lake Norman a lot already. And one team we haven't said a lot of is Laney. They had Samuel and they had Cutto.
Yeah.
So that's 2. They have some guys in here in this 132, 138, 145 range that I don't know if they're really title contenders, but they're going to place high though, like 3rd, 4th. I don't know if they really have the
and could pull some up.
Yeah.
And could pull some upsets in there.
Or even if the bracket plays out right, find themselves in the state finals. They have some guys in here that really could mess this all up and make us look silly. But
it's crazy that I've even been sitting here making state title picks because it's way too early. Like we
love
it. So much wrestling to happen.
It's never too early. I'm gonna start picking my 2023 season.
Yeah,
state
it's
champ
just
picks.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what Richards does this season. I think 138's that's going to be set between those two. They're the front runners. But one that's really exciting, and
another wide open 4A.
I keep on saying that in 4A, man, is 145. You got Tyler Tracy, 2 times state runner-up, a junior from Cardinal Gibbons.
Is this his year? Is this the year?
Does he punch through? Then you've got Eli Murray, sophomore, Lake Norman, state qualifier.
Yeah.
Then you've got Greg Merriman, who he is back this year.
Yeah.
He's a junior. He took 4th as a freshman, was injured last year, and is back and
looked good this weekend
good.
too.
Looked healthy, looked good. But I think we've got one here.
Oh yeah, this
one right here that was another tragedy of another just I can't believe that happened of the COVID state tournament. Jacob Woodburn from Page.
Yeah.
Runner up, 3rd, state qualifier. It would not surprise me to see Jacob Woodburn pull away in this weight.
Yeah.
And really put it together. Man, I really like watching Eli Murray wrestle. And, like I said, I feel like I've talked a lot about Lake Norman here, and I feel like we have just because they have so many good kids this year, and they're all right there in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have many that aren't. But man, Jacob Woodburn's such a good kid too that I kind of want it to be his year.
Yes,
and just knowing of him and just kind of my brother helped out at Page whenever he was in Greensboro, and just kind of like hearing from him of being around that family and like knowing Jacob and like kind of following him from younger to now. It's his senior year. Like I kind of want it to be his year, but he has got a tall task in Tyler Tracy.
Yeah. I think we're on the same page.
Ha!
Get it? Get it? Yeah, I know. Dad jokes.
That was terrible.
No. But seriously, though, I wasn't sure you were going to head this way, and I think Jacob Warrenborn's going to win this weight. I really do. I think it's finally his time, right?
Yeah.
Runner-up to trainer as a freshman. Only lost at the state tournament to trainer again, and then last year had a weird season, wasn't 100% healthy.
Right.
Had a really tough first-round match.
I think if he is healthy, he wins it.
He's going to win it. I think Tracy could be 3-time state finalist, 3-time runner-up, and who knows? He could beat Woodburn. I'm going to pick Jacob Woodburn. I'm going to go on record right now. 145 4A champ, Jacob Woodburn. I think it's finally his time. And Tracy, man, I mean, he's really elite.
I could see Eli Murray ending up in the finals.
Yeah, it depends
Woodburn,
how the bracket
how it shakes out. I could see Murray and Woodburn in the finals. I could see Murray going on to be a 2-time state champ.
Yep, I mean
after this year,
Murray could win it right now.
He's good.
Tracy, he could, and it could be Tracy's year. I mean, 2-time runner-up. I mean, he went 106 runner-up to Marcus Jackson, and then he was runner-up last year, right? At
my pick's going to be Murray Woodburn,
and then he is right there. He already beat Eli Murray this year. This weekend he beat Eli Murray 8-4. Tracy did, and don't sleep on Greg Merriman.
But I think it comes back again with it's that strength of schedule.
Yeah,
Lake Norman's going to wrestle like everyone. I mean, I feel like they are.
Cardinal Gibbons got a pretty tough schedule too.
Yes, they do. They do. And not to take anything away from them. Personally, I think it'll be Murray Woodburn.
Murray Woodburn. I'm gonna go Tracy Woodburn with Woodburn on top.
Murray taking third, probably.
Yeah. Who knows? Watch. They'll all be like in the same quarter.
Yeah. It'll be insane. It'll be absolute insanity.
It'll just mayhem again in that bracket. That was a nuts bracket last year.
Absolutely ridiculous. But popping up to 152, Davis Freeze, junior from Mooresville, runner up to state qualifier.
Yeah, he lost to the other guy in this weight that's probably the favorite, Drew Pepin, Northwest Guilford. They met in the quarters last year.
Yep.
Pepin went on to be the runner-up.
Yep.
And
Freeze was out.
Freeze was out because of the no wrestle-back situation. Freeze, another one of the guys, not as big as the Marcus Jackson travesty, but definitely not a great one, especially for Mooresville's team title host there last year. So I think Pepin, Freeze kind of 1-2 right now. Yep. Pepin obviously with the edge because this match already happened last year.
Yep.
But there's someone I can see it.
One guy,
tip of his tongue right here.
There's one guy that just keeps on proving me right.
Yeah. Hey, I have him on the big board.
I keep on picking him, and he's proved me right.
Yeah, you picked that particular match at the last year of the state tournament. So.
I believe he knocked off somebody we just talked about.
Yeah, he did.
Someone that I just picked as well.
Yeah.
But Jackson Buck.
Yes.
Sophomore from Lumberton.
Mm-hmm.
Man. He's got potential to beat anyone at any given day. And I agree. I think that Pepin he is the favorite here. But you gotta watch Buck.
Yeah.
You have to watch out for Jackson Buck. You have to know where he is in the bracket, and because he'll sneak up and he'll knock people out. And I'm really excited to see him this year. I do think the Pepin's the favorite as of right now.
Yes.
I kind of want to see where Jackson is on a consistency level of what he's going to do match in, match out, instead of just, is he going to be one of those kids that just knocks off this one big match and then kind of loses these different ones, ebbs and flows. But Jackson Buck has firepower that he can catch anybody. He can wrestle with the best of them. Proved it last year. Everyone thought I was crazy for making that pick. You thought I was crazy for making that pick.
Yeah, off air I was not pleased with your pick. I was like, that was not a good one. But Jackson Buck proved you right, and I had him on the big board at that moment when you made that pick. I just was not thinking that would happen, but I think you're right, man. I think I mean, we could be sitting here at the end of the year doing our state tournament recap and say Jackson Buck state champ.
Yeah, I think he's got the potential.
He's right there.
I think that Pepin's the favorite on paper.
Yep.
I think that he's the favorite if we don't look at if we look at who we think if everything shook out perfectly how it should happen, I think it'll be Pepin.
Yeah.
No offense to Freeze, anything like that. I just think that Pepin is that good right now. But I mean, we're sitting here forgetting Freeze too. This is a fun.
This is a good weight.
152 is fun.
So there's some fun weights. This
it really is.
4A is very wide open. Doesn't have like the high end firepower matchups like that we were talking about, like the Baglio matchup.
I think that also just attests to how tough 4A has been, though.
Yeah, 4A is deep right now.
4A is deep, and I think that just attests to how tough it's been. I mean, it's tough to pull off a 4-time state placer in 4A.
Yeah,
true. But let's bump up to 160 here. Jaden Dobeck, another Pinecrest, runner-up, state qualifier. Then we got Maxwell Keel, senior from Jordan, runner-up, third place. Then Logan Hasley maybe, from Corinth Holders, state qualifier, third. These guys, all three of them, have been right on the cusp of it, right at the edge, right there. Who's gonna bust through this year?
Man, I think Dobeck's the favorite, personally.
Yeah.
I think he's the guy to be at the weight, strictly because, man, his style, I think, is just one that can beat pretty much anyone with the way he can attack legs.
Yeah.
And I think he kind of had a tough go of it, moving up a couple weights last year, and maybe he's settling more into it now. He was at 45 as a freshman, then moving up to 60, right? So I think you're going to see him settle into the weight, grow into the weight a little more, and I think you're going to see him kind of jump a level from where we saw him at last year.
Right.
But the guy I think that should be the biggest Pinecrest should be honing in on is Maxwell Keel. Like, hey, this is the guy that's gonna, if you're going to take a state title from you, Jaden, is this guy.
That's him, yeah.
Speaking of moving up weights, he went from 120 all the way up to 145 and didn't really miss a beat. Got runner-up and then third. So, man, he's moving up now to 160. He's really, really good, explosive. So I think it's those two. Hazley's really good as well. I mean, qualified as a freshman at 132, then placed last year at third place. So I don't know. This is another wide open weight. I think Dobeck's slight favorite. Like it's not going to be. He's not going to win like a 9-3 match here. It's going to be like a 5-4 deal.
It'll be a tight one. But moving up to 170, I think this is the best.
This weight's fun.
I think this is one of the best weights in the entire state tournament. Any classification, any of them. I think it's wide open. Man, like it's... I'm excited for it. Joseph Locke, Jack Britt, runner-up, third place. Jack Jarvis.
This guy right here.
From Davie, returning state champ. And then Savoy New, Cardinal Gibbons, state qualifier, third. And then Alex Harper, junior from Laney, fifth in state qualifier. And then Alex Gunning from Chapel Hill.
Yep, runner-up last year.
Runner-up. And then we got Elijah Brown from AC Reynolds, returning state qualifier.
Yeah, and he beat, Brown beat Bradley Parker from Avery, returning state champ this weekend. So.
Yes, he did. So he's coming out and making noise already.
Yeah, put himself in this title contending situation here.
I don't know if I don't know who to pick here.
Jarvis did it. So we talked about courageous being. Did anybody look better at the state tournament? Was anybody looking better than Jarvis was at the 4A state tournament last year? I don't know, man. Like he really turned it on. I mean, he beat Devin Bell last year and beat him handily in the state finals.
Yeah.
But Savoy knew his run at Fargo, right? His run at Fargo, the way he wrestled at Super 32. Man, it's hard to pick against him too, right?
Yeah.
And then Alex Gunning, he was at Fargo too, runner-up last year. And then I know you're a big Joseph Locke fan with Brian Sigmund there, and Brian Sigmund's going to have this boy ready this year for the state tournament. Second as a sophomore, third last year. Like, this is just anybody's ball game here, right? And I think Alex Hopper from Laney, he's going to be in there. I mean, he's wrestling Devin Bell every single day in the room, I'm sure. So, and has been, because I know they're in the same area. I don't know. I'm tending to lean towards Savoy New, Cardinal Gibbons. The way he wrestled at Fargo, I really, really liked that. So I'm kind of leaning that way, but it's like a 51-49 for him and Jarvis. I'm putting kind of him and Jarvis as the favorites, and Locke and Hopper and Gunning kind of nipping at their heels, and then Elijah Brown kind of a little bit of a lesser chance in the background, but if he picks
Elijah Brown has like that weird. He's got a weird style. He's a little like he's a brawler.
Yeah.
He like keeps going and going and going and going and going, and he's dangerous. But I don't know if technically, like if we're talking technique, and if we're talking just we wrestled 10 times, I think it's one of those things that he can beat any of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 8 times out of 10, and for some 9 times out of 10, it's going to go the other way. But he's in this contention because
he already beat a state champ.
He's already beat a state champ. So he's proven that he can wrestle at that level. But whoever emerges out of this bracket is a bad dude.
So
because not only do you have to beat,
it's gonna start at the quarters pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. I think Elijah Brown could probably beat any one of these guys. Now, percentage wise, probably goes down with Jarvis and New and Locke, but can he beat 3 of them in a row? I'm not so sure.
That's where it gets difficult, and I think that's where Savoy New. I think that's where his run with Fargo. I think that's where his run with Super 32.
Yes.
Of wrestling
those top
such
guys.
Good kids every single round.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go up there and have a scrub. It's studs every round. I am leaning towards Savoy New, because of his experience, and the runs that he has put together. I can't go away from Joseph Locke. Love watching that kid wrestle. But like you said, Jack Jarvis. I don't know if anybody looked better than him last year in 4A.
Yeah. I mean,
he looked tournament.
He looked great. So this is a tough one. I
can't make a pick there.
I'm interested to see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm kind of 51, 49.
I can't make my pick there.
The favorite, maybe. But,
yeah.
I don't know. So 182. Speaking of wide open, this one's going to be pretty fun too. We have Devin Bell from Laney, who's been at the top of this heap.
Campbell signee.
Yeah, Campbell signee for years now, right? He state qualifier as a freshman, third, only man to kind of give Donald Cates a match in the state semis there. And then runner-up last year to Jarvis, right? And then you have Gavin Hartzell from A.L. Brown, who won 182 last year at 3A. Now A.L. Brown is up at 4A.
Yep.
You have Tomas Brooker from Hickory Ridge, who beat... So, Tomas Brooker, man, this kid has been, trajectory-wise, just skyrocketing since the end of the year last year, right?
Yeah.
He beat Jack Jarvis in the offseason. Then before that, he was at Grappler Fall Classic and places there. He didn't place last year as a state qualifier, but he had a crazy first round match with Subway New. It was 8-7, and New moved on to take third.
Whew.
So this kid has only gotten better since then. I think
I would 100% believe he would come back and place.
I kind of want to pick him now to win the state title, just with how his trajectory has been, and that's over Bell and Hartzell, who have won a state title and been in the finals. But then you have another state runner-up in here with Rob Hyder out of Pinecrest, who I heard is also a very good football player. Hyder, a runner-up last year at this weight. So that's tough. You have 3 state finalists and a state champ. And then I want to throw Hunter Tesla from Davie on here as well. Tesla was a freshman state qualifier at 182 last year, so being That's super impressive to be doing that. Now, Brooker did beat Tesla this weekend, but it was 10-8. So if he's competing with Brooker like that, then he's got to be on this list. So
yeah, he does have to be on the list. Man, I feel like I can't pick against Bell.
Yeah.
I think that just like we were talking about with like the trajectory things. I mean, him and Brooker, I think Brooker's right there on that path. I think Brooker goes 182 in almost any other classification here. Wins it. I'd love to see Brooker and Brady Ross go at it.
That'd be fun.
That'd be a fun one. I don't know. I really do think that Bell beats Hartzell. I think that Brooker beats Hartzell. And I think that's where it comes down to, like with Hyder. I think that Hyder has a better shot at knocking off Bell or Brooker than Hartzell. Personally. I don't know, though. I'm not there yet. I can't make that pick yet. Right now, I'm leaning towards Bell. Yeah. Right now, I think that Bell's just the most complete wrestler out of all of them.
I think he's the favorite on paper, even though Hartzell's a defending state champ.
Yes, and and that's nothing small. But moving up to 4A, and moving into a a really stacked.
Hartzell took a loss to Kyler Pickard from Mount Pleasant this weekend, so.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's just tough. Right now, if I had to pick today, I'd go Bell. But I think that Brooker is one of the guys that's going to be the guy.
I think I'm going to pick him to win this way. I think he's going to beat Bell.
I can't.
Bell, it's going to be fun, though, because it seems like it's going to be like a pretty good style clash.
Yeah, and I think it really just who shows up best that day. I will agree that I think it should be, or I want to see Bell and Brooker in the state finals. That's the shakeup that I want to see. That's the finals I want to see. But I don't know. Man, Brooker's so long, but Bell is just, he stays in good position. Training
really good on the mat. He's really good on the mat.
Yes, training out of Port City. Man, we're going to have to revisit that later in the year, okay? We're going to have to see how things shake out.
I think they're both going to be at the Holy Angels tournament. I'm pretty sure they're on the list. And Hartzell might be there, too. I'll have to recheck that list.
That tournament's going to be so insane.
It's going to be so much fun. I plan on being there for day 2. That's the plan right now. Obviously, a lot can change between now and December 30th or whatever.
Right. I wish I could be.
Yeah.
Man. That's exciting. That's probably the toughest one for me to pick between, though, right now, is Bell and Brooker of the whole state tournament of any classification, anything. But moving up to 195, Caleb Beatty.
Yeah, someone who we knew was good, right? He was a state qualifier at a very high weight as a freshman, 170, I'm pretty sure. And then won it last year over Carson Floyd. Now, before that state tournament, I viewed him one way. I was like, this kid's really good.
Yeah.
After the state tournament beating Carson Floyd, I'm like, this kid is really, really good. He flew up the big board. I think he's only behind Jeremiah Price and Jackson Baglio right now. He's number 3. And, man, he did the thing at Super 32. He went deep run.
Yeah.
Looked phenomenal. Beat some really good guys there. So I think he's a very heavy favorite coming into this weight this year.
Yeah, I think so. Behind him, you've got Jane Houghton or
Houghton is how you say his last name. I have no clue. Jaden is how I'm going to go with it. Jaden Houghton. From Weddington, it's Tyree Houghton that won a state title.
Okay, gotcha.
A few years ago. I'm pretty sure there's relation there. I want to say brother. Don't know.
Right, okay.
There's probably not a whole lot of chance that they have the same last name, same school. But I think there's relation there. But he's been wrestling well. You got Aiden Maher, who beat, how many state champs did he beat last year?
God.
That was wild. That kid is good as well.
Yeah.
Quintez Shipman from Lumberton.
Another Lumberton kid.
Love the Lumberton crew. And then Sam Greena, who was runner-up to Joe Seeley last year at 152, all the way up at 195. Man, he got in the weight room.
Yeah, he got in the weight room.
He got in the weight room, looked big. He beat Milos this weekend. So, not only did he move up weights, he's
beating top-ranked guys.
Top-ranked guys. So...
And to say you lost to Joe Seeley in the state finals is that's nothing to be ashamed of there.
Yeah. But to move up that much and beat a state runner-up from an upper weight shows you, hey, I'm not moving up and not going to contend. He's a contender here.
I think it's Beatty's.
Yeah, I think he's on another level right now.
It's Beatty's weight. I don't think it's like a Beatty next topic kind of deal, but I think he beats all of them. Maybe doesn't major them all, but
he's going to beat them handily.
Beats them 6'2", 7'2", something like that.
Yeah, I'm almost next
dominates the match.
Weight.
Really?
Yeah, I just think he's just really that.
I want to see Greena a little more.
Greena.
Greena? I'm going to say Greena.
Greena, yeah.
Always. Aiden Mayer's always got a shot. We've seen it.
Yeah. I agree. I just think Beatty's just that much better right now. I'm very close to next topping it.
Okay.
220, Carson Floyd, preseason national champ. He did the thing at Grapple Fall Classic, and he's everywhere all the time.
Yeah. Wrestled great at Super 32.
Yep. He's so good. He's so good. I think he's obviously the favorite. We made him the favorite at 220 or 195 last year. We talk about Carson a lot, so I don't want to continue to repeat everything we've said about him, but he's good, right? We know that. Yeah. And then Nathan Carrs.
We're huge fans.
Yes.
Here of Carson Floyd.
Yes.
Everything he does with Combat Connection,
Yeah.
Just awesome
Carson
kid.
Floyd, the wrestler, Carson Floyd, the person.
Yeah,
big
awesome
fans
kid.
right
Big
here.
fans.
And then Nathan Carnes from Porter Ridge got third last year. Another young guy placing at these upper weights. State qualifiers freshman at 195, then placing third last year. He's gonna be the kind of the guy that can challenge Floyd. He's the one I'm interested in to see kind of how that match goes. I'm not so sure it's gonna be super competitive. I think it might be a 9-1, 9-3 type match, but it's definitely I'm interested. That's the most interesting matchup for Floyd going forward.
I think it's the next guy.
Yeah, I saw your little smirk there, and I agree. I
think it's the next guy. Moving up from 3A.
Yeah.
Andrew Machiavello.
Yeah, out of Sun Valley.
Not that name sounds familiar or anything. Not that his brother wasn't the face of North Carolina wrestling for, Probably still is.
North Carolina wrestling.
Big fans of Mike Mock. I really think that Andrew could have put together I don't know if he doesn't win a 220 state title last year.
He wasn't beating Tristan Norris.
Was he at 95 or was he?
He was at 220.
He was at 220 last year.
He wrestled. He wrestled Elijah Hurt.
That's right.
And he got injured.
Yes, got injured.
Did he injury default in the match? I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember exactly how.
I'm pretty sure he was winning or maybe just had fallen behind and had an injury default out.
I think so. I think he had the best shot at
I would have liked to see him wrestle Tristan. I don't think that would have been close.
I think Mock has the best chance at beating Floyd. I think that's going to be our state finals, and I don't know if I can pick against Floyd.
I think similarly to his brother, I think he has one of those upward trajectories where his full potential has not been tapped yet. And I think you're right. I think he could beat Carnes and be the challenger for Floyd.
You think Mock follows in his brother's footsteps and heads up to NC State next year?
I've heard there's another college that's kind of onto him a little bit before, so we'll see.
Okay. Gotcha.
We'll see.
I think it's Carson Floyd. I think it's his weight.
Yeah, I think he's a heavy favorite.
I think Andrew Machiavello has a chance. I think he's got the best shot.
And especially, I want to see it because, honestly, the way the match was going before he got injured, at least what I could tell from the track score and what I've heard.
Yeah, looked great.
I think he was going to end up beating Elijah Hurt.
Yes.
That's just
I think
putting it out there.
I think so.
I think if he did not get hurt against Hurt, he wins.
Yeah.
Now, 285 is going to produce a good little matchup for us here at 3A and at 4A. We've kind of ended with a rematch in 3A between Cody Hardy and Jeremy Ear. And then this one, we got the potential for a real good one between Sakari Morrison, who was a state champ for Newton Conover at 2A 195, then was runner-up at 220 last year.
Do you think that they stay at the right?
Did they move down? We were talking about this off air. I'm not sure because I honestly feel like Sakari and Carson are probably both 220-pounders.
Does one of them try and make 95?
Can Floyd make 95? He looks huge to me at Super 32. I
don't know.
At least on video, he looked very, very much a 220-pounder.
I don't know if Sakari can make. I don't think Sakari can make.
No, Sakari can't make 195.
I think he can make. I think he can make 220.
I don't
but
know.
I don't
man.
know if.
I wonder what their plan is here. I mean, that's tough.
Well, here's the thing: they could probably sit exactly where they both are and both win state titles.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Sakari can win.
Dual team wise, I think that's the best shakeup they could have right there. That's the best. I mean.
Now I think the Sakari Morrison.
Sorry, I got excited there. I interrupted.
No, I'm glad you brought up. That's been my question too. Is they both have been last year? That was the question too, right? They both could wrestle 220.
Who's going to go where? What's going to be the lineup there?
Sakari even started at 95, and Floyd started at 220, and then they flipped.
Yeah. I know Sakari is one heck of a football player.
Yeah. So maybe he got. I'm not sure how big he actually is.
Maybe beefed up.
Maybe he got pretty big for football.
Yeah.
But he's. Returning state champ, runner-up last year. But then there's the man here, Rylan Van, senior out of Cary. As a sophomore, he was runner-up. And then last year, he wins a state title.
Historic Cary.
Oh, yeah.
Heavyweights.
Chasing number 22, right?
Yeah. I mean, and then just the history they have with heavyweights and the monsters that they've had there. Mm-hmm. But and then kind of sitting in the shadows there is Alex McCallop.
Yep.
Is that the best way? I think that's how you say it. From Southeast Guilford. Fourth. I think I want to see Sakari Van.
Me too.
I want to see Morrison Van. I think that's going to be
both quick feet.
Yes, it's not going to be your you can't it's
going to be your granddaddy's heavyweight.
Yes,
right?
It's going to be the complete opposite from 3A.
Yeah.
Right? Like we've got kind of the big guys that are just going to
pummel.
They're going to pummel. They're going to brawl it out. But then we've got two athletes.
Yes.
Two just like
Van is already committed to NC State for football.
For football, yes. Yeah. Two athletes, great footwork, explosive offense. It's tough to not pick Sakari there, but it's also tough not to pick Van.
I know. I don't know. This one is it's a toss up. Honestly, it's a toss up. I kind of lean Sakari.
Maybe Sakari just because he's got Carson.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I lean Sakari because he has Carson, and I know he's training in the combat room. And I think Van doesn't wrestle him so much in the offseason because he is focused. I mean, Sakari's a big football player, but he's still in the combat room.
Yeah.
Van, I'm not sure what he does training-wise, off-season-wise, but it might not matter. He might be just that much of a that much better than Sakari. We don't know it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think, honestly... We'll see. But I think if you wrestle that match, 10 times you go 5-5.
Whew,
man,
that's gonna be fun.
It is, and how deep right now is 4A, and how exciting is 3A? It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited for both of those classifications. Team race wise,
the team race is gonna be insane. That's exactly what I was sitting there thinking.
Gonna be insane. Bananas in both classifications.
Who do you think takes it in 4A?
I think. Right now, I'm going to lean towards Laney. They won really big at the tournament this past weekend. And now I know we didn't mention Laney as much in the title contenders as we mentioned Lake Norman and Cardinal Gibbons. But guess what? We didn't last year either. And they still had their studs in here. I don't know. Until proven otherwise, until I see more, I'm going to stick with Laney as my 4A title pick.
I haven't decided between Lake Norman and Huff yet.
Yeah, one of those two.
Laney is that. Those are going to be top three. I think, in my opinion, it's going to be.
I think Cardinal Gibbons finishes high too.
So and then there's always Cary.
Yeah.
Sitting in there, just kind of.
They got some really good
lurking.
studs. Pinecrest.
Yeah, Pinecrest is up there.
Northwest Guilford.
You're right, but I really think for me it's going to be between Lake Norman and Huff. I think that I don't know. I don't know, and that's not to take anything away from Laney or Cardinal Gibbons, but Lake Norman's solid this year. Lake Norman is tough.
Yeah.
Really, really tough, especially, I mean, we're looking at right there, those 220 and 285, that could be back-to-back state champs.
Yeah.
And also a lot of points right there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know,
I'm going to go Laney until proven otherwise.
Yeah.
I think, you know what's really going to be a great indicator of this is the Holy Angels tournament. We're going to see Laney's on that registration list. Huff's not there. That Cardinal Gibbons is there. Mooresville's supposed to be there, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Is Lake Norman?
I'm not sure if
it's right there in the backyard. I don't know if they're going or not.
Here, I'm not sure. I'll have to relook that up. But I mean, that's going to be a really good indicator to see where all those teams kind of stack up against each other. Now, the field's going to be a little different. You're going to have some other schools in there, but
they may not see a lot of like head-to-head matchups there.
But it's going to be an indicator to where we'll know more. We'll have a better.
Yeah, and I'm talking tournament team. I haven't even really looked at or thought about dual team head-to-head, how that shakes out.
So speaking of the Holy Angels tournament, here's the team list. I pulled it up real quick. A.L. Brown, Alexander Central, Avery County, Bandy's, Bishop McGinnis, Midland, West Virginia, Cannon School, Cape Fear, Cardinal Gibbons, Cata, Central Cabarrus, Chambers, Charlotte Catholic, Charlotte Country Day, Clover out of South Carolina, Concord, Cranford, New Jersey, Davie County, Deep Creek, Virginia, Dobbins-Bennett, Tennessee, Fort Worth, Virginia, Hickory Ridge, High Point Central, Hillside, Hopewell, Huff, Indian Land, South Carolina, Jack Britt, J.M. Robinson, Lake Norman, Lansdowne, Virginia, Laney, Lumberton, Mallard Creek, Marvin Ridge, Metroline Christian, Mooresville, Mount Pleasant, Myers Park, Nation Ford, North Davidson, North Gaston, Northwestern, South Carolina, Olympic, Parkwood, Piedmont, Porter Ridge, Providence, Purnell Sweet, Ragsdale, Ravenwood, Tennessee, Reedsville, Richmond County, Riverside, Robbinsville, oh boy, Robbinsville's there too, Scotland County, Smithfield, South Caldwell, South Mecklenburg, South Rowan, Southern Guilford, Staunton River, Virginia, Stuart Kramer, Stuart Stratford, Virginia, Sun Valley, Travelers Rest, South Carolina, Trinity, Uwharrie Charter, Weddington, West Henderson, and Wheatmore. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo!
That's going to be the best tournament in North Carolina history.
Yeah, let's boogie on that one. I mean, just a couple of those, like Bandy's, Avery, Robbinsville, Cata, Central Cabarrus.
Gosh,
Lake
that kills
Norman,
me that I'm not going to be there.
All these, oh man, it's going to be Laney, Huff, Mallard Creek, it's on. It's on, man. That's going to be a good one. I think after this tournament, though, the reason I read all those teams and paying attention to this one, I think this will give us the best picture of the state tournament.
I think you win that. You win a state title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. I think it's going to give us a clear picture of the tiers of heading into the team race for the state title.
I think that tournament sounds like it's going to be tougher than actual.
Yeah, that'll be tougher than state tournament for sure.
That's
the premier tournament in North Carolina right now.
That is who's number one of North Carolina.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Wow. So, but that wraps up all of our title contenders for I guess not our preseason. I guess our preseason title contenders. Right, it started to see. We had a few in 3A and 4A. We got to kind of say, like JT Richards beat Kunth. Like
little recap.
A little bit of help.
We'll get back on that one. So,
but man, it's going to be an awesome year. I'm super pumped. That just made me
having tournaments back. It's going to be great. Thanks for listening, guys. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Got some stuff coming your way I think you're going to like.
We're out.